Alright, what's going on guys, it's Liam here and welcome to today's video on the channel. Now this is my second video for today, as you guys can probably tell. My first video today was defending the female content creators on Wizard101, but unfortunately they did not like that, so with that criticism I had to take the video down. So I figured today I would also get back to the normal Wiz upload schedule, and I want to start off that with a new tier list for this brand new update of Wizard101. Now, a lot of my characters have actually got to a pretty high rank this season. I started rocking an overlay on stream. KingStyle has started to put their foot down with cheating in the arena, so I've officially started ranking up on a couple of my characters. Right now, my Storm and Balance are Martial, and my Myth, Fire, and Death are kinda around that ballpark, so I'm gonna try to get, a couple of people up there. Coming in at the number 1 spot, I think I'm gonna have to put Myth. Now, I think universally the community does agree on this. There's a lot of reasons why Myth is extremely good right now. One, they have the best stats in the game alongside another school, which I'll be getting into right away here. And their damage per pip is just through the roof on cards like Jin and Calendar. Calendar, I think, is either the most broken 10 pip TC, way above Storm Owl, if not the second most broken 10 pip TC. So having this card in the game is absolutely insane on KingStyle's part. Not to mention, you can literally PvE and the counters do not work on Myth Wizards, so it's pretty freaking solid. So combine all of this with the fact that they have the most powerful shield gambit, it's just absolutely a menace, If you don't stun block against a Myth, you get Medusa'd, right? If you try to counter their shields and, not get Jinned, you get Medusa'd, then you die. So Myth just has way too many things going for it right now. And again, it's a lot of things adding up, like their stats, not following the Rochambeau wheel, cards like Calendar being well above damage per pip, and Shield Gambits being broken is what kind of solidifies Myth at the number 1 spot, along with the ability not being able to counterplay a Myth. Coming in at the number 2 spot, I think I'm going to have to put Balance. Now, as you guys know, I actually really like Balance here on the channel. It's one of my favorite schools, so I might be a bit biased towards this. But Balance right now can beat literally anybody. And I think this combined with the fact that, you don't really have a lot of tough matchups. I feel like your toughest matchups are Death and Myth probably. And then you can just throw on a pin to one of those schools and already fix that problem. Not to mention, you could run Void Boots to get a second pin, and then you could rock 2 wards on your pet because your stats are so insane. So Balance can literally beat every matchup right now. And all they have to do is just sit behind their super overpowered stats and spam Scales and then Gaze and Mock, and the game is over, literally. I've literally Scales through every weakness and then mocked once and killed some people before. It's absolutely insane how good this school is right now. You basically have an answer to everything and you have solid counters to everything. And Pyramid is still way too overpowered. I honestly think it's just the fact that you get the pip back all the time is the reason why it's OP. But I think more importantly, their stats are just way too good, You're hitting 11k health, you're hitting the damage cap, you still have a crap ton of resist, you have perfect accuracy in pips, you have insane critical and block, and then you have like a Storm's Pierce, which is absolutely insane, or a Myth's Pierce even. It's just too much. So I think Balance simply just has too much of every stat. It's no longer the jack of all trades. It is the best of literally everything. Then when you combine the best stats of everything with cards that are really, really OP and counter everything, of course you're going to have a school like Balance dominating DQ. Now coming in at the number 3 spot, I think I'm going to have to put Life. Now, I have a couple of reasons for this. Obviously their stats are really solid. You can get like 13k health with offensive stats or 12k on a Life. Yeah, like look at these stats. I have almost 13k health. I'm almost at the damage cap with really good resist. And I almost have 50 Pierce. And I'm not giving up a single thing. Now, if the meta's slowing down, obviously that makes healing strategies a lot better. And we've already seen Jade's reappear in the queue. So healing Life is really good right now, and with how popular Myth is, Life being the hard counter to Myth is just absolutely really, really good for them. Not to mention the fact that Storm is really bad right now again. So your one hard counter matchup or soft counter matchup literally can't even beat you on a life. So you don't have to worry about that at all. Then combine that with the fact you can just Jade basically against other weaker schools. You don't have to worry about your counter matchup. And you can just heal a little bit against like a Fire or a Myth, and then you'll be fine, you know? I think Life just has a lot of things going for it, and I think right now it's very fortunate for Myth to be #1 at the moment. All of the schools it can out-heal are some of the best schools right now, and obviously it hard counters Myth, which is definitively the best school right now. Coming in at the #4 spot, I think I'm gonna have to put Death. Now, I've actually been having a lot more fun on the Death recently. If you guys don't know, I got my Death to Marshall, and I got extremely bored with how it played, and then I stopped playing, and obviously went back down to Veteran, because if you don't play, your rank will decline. But Death right now is just absolutely nuts, man. Like, the stats you get, and like the DPP and the utility is just so nuts. Combine this with the fact that you have, again, a shield gambit that you can set up for free because the counters are horrible right now, or back in a shield gambit meta. Then combine that with the fact that, you know, there's no good counters to weaknesses right now, unless you can Stone Colossus like a Myth can. There's literally no counterplay to them. Or Snowman, I guess, but those are kind of mid counters. Then the fact you cannot counter a Drain either is what makes this school really good, you know? Your stats are insane. Shield gambits are OP, you cannot counter weaknesses, and you cannot counter drains is what makes Death really, really powerful right now. And I've honestly been having a lot more fun on it recently, which is really nice because I do like playing Death, and I'm really thankful that I can get back into playing it. Coming in at the next spot here, I think I am going to have to put Fire. I think Fire right now is a really, really solid school. I'd probably honestly, I'd tie it with Ice right now. I'd tie Ice and Fire together in this point. Trapsack Fire, again, has been a problem for a very, very long time. Even with Rochambeau's, it's too good, you know? It's one turn to set up 3 different powerful buffs. With Elemental Blade and Elemental Trap, it's one turn to set up 1 powerful buff, so it's not as good. So often what you see is Fires actually can beat Lifes when they trap stack, because Lifes are always losing tempo, right? And Fire can just do damage easy with a couple of buffs, right? So combine the fact that you can easily beat both of your counter matchups. You can beat a Storm because your stats are better, and you have cards like Jin, Afreet, S'more. You know, again with the stats you have as well, the 183 damage, it just makes you really, really powerful. So on a Fire, you don't even have to worry about your counter matchups right now. The only schools you really lose to are Death, because Death is obviously, like, you know, quite a bit better than Fire in the stat department, and the fact you cannot counter weaknesses or drains, or shield gambits even though you're on a Fire. So I think it's in a solid spot right now. It could definitely get better, and I just think the problem with, you know, Storm and Fire in general is your resist and your health is way too low comparatively. That's a lot of, you know, the trends you'll see in these tier lists. The higher health schools and the higher resist schools are always towards the front because those statistics are so important, and it gives you error, you know, room for error to play on, you know? Coming in at the #6 spot, now, I just want to say, I do not think Ice is terrible right now in the meta. I've played it a lot. I've won a lot this meta with it. You know, I think we have an Ice Warlord right now. The school is really not terrible. You know, you still have some pretty decent stats. You know, Resist still favors you a lot, and the Blimp Pet is still extremely, extremely broken. You have cards like Frostfang, Frostbite as well, which create a lot of offensive pressure. But I think my main issue with Ice right now is the fact that all it can do is really hide behind its broken resist, really. And all it can do is stall time to spam A-Bomb, right? I see a lot of Ice Wizards just bubble brace, and then A-Bomb 6 times, and they win, you know? That's not really where you want to be if you're designing the game, if you're KingsIsle. You don't want a school to do the same 2 or 3 moves the entire game, and not actually have to play the game and play well to win. So I think Ice is just way too bare bones right now, and there's really not much to it, unfortunately. And your only solid hit, again, is A-Bomb, so all people do is bubble with 8 bubbles on an Ice now, actually, and then brace so people can't hit them, and then they A-Bomb spam over and over. Maybe throw in a Frostbite here and there. Maybe a Frostfang in a quicker matchup as well. But you don't really have a lot going for you on an ice. You do have the Scion Shield Gambit, which is pretty darn good. Obviously, really good damage per pip as well. But 11 pips is a lot, especially on an ice, compared to the 9 pips on the Myth and the Death. But yeah, I think it's still a decent school, but it just really does not have a lot going for it right now, unfortunately, in the meta. Last, and certainly at least, is my favorite school, Storm. Now, I'm gonna be real, I don't know why Storm is dog shit. I've talked to a couple other people, and they think it's always been this bad, but last meta when we had Betrayal, it was actually decent, but so we didn't actually see the flaws underneath the Betrayal, and now we are seeing it in this meta. That's the opinion I've heard from other people and other creators here over on, you know, YouTube and obviously in Wiz. But yeah, I can't really tell you why Storm is bad right now. This is the first time I've been really confused with it. KingSal did listen to our feedback about giving Storm utility, like, you know, Catalan, Catch of the Day. I guess Leviathan will go eventually. They made Rasolka better. I guess they nerfed Owl and Triton, I suppose. But, like, they did listen to the feedback of not having utility. So we have utility, and we got a pretty okay stat buff, you know, without, you know, having to run Sniper now on the pet and stuff like that, which is really cool. I am thankful for that. But, yeah, I don't get it. Like, your stats got, you know, a little bit better, and you actually have utility on this school now, but it's still dog shit. And what I've heard in the community, and what I can only really agree with, because I don't really have any feedback for the devs here, I think the resist and the health is just way too low, you know? It's kind of what Fire also struggles with as well. When you have schools that also hit the damage cap and have your Pierce, but they have thousands more health and way more percentage of resist, the DPP doesn't really matter. If somebody's hitting me and I have 0 resist and I'm hitting them and they have 20 resist with 3,000 more health or 2,000 more health, I'm obviously going to get clapped, right? The DPP can't really shine there. So it's basically universally agreed upon that Storm is last place right now in the community. Even if you run Elf Pet, even if you try a bunch of strats, there's just really not much you can do on the school, unfortunately. It does suck to see, you know, but Storm was good for one meta of 5th Age, which I guess I can be thankful for. I really hope the devs can figure out what the hell is wrong with this school. Again, I'm kind of confused. We have, you know, a bit better stats now. We have utility on our cards. I guess it's just the health and resist that's too low, or the other schools have too much damage and they have too much Pierce compared to us. I think that probably is what it is at the end of the day. But let me know what you guys think about this video in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like, rating, and subscribe if you haven't already. I do post every single day. And yeah, without further ado, I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care, guys.